my future toppers, welcome back. So now see, whenever you are preparing for any exam, one of the key factor that decides is what resources you are referring to, right? If the resources are very relevant, then the chances of qualifying any exam becomes more, right? And in this list of resources, one very important thing, one integral part is notes, okay? How efficiently you make your notes, how efficiently you revise your notes decides how efficiently you will perform in the exam. So note making is not just writing whatever you have in your book again, but remember, note making is an art, okay? And it is the one who cracks this art, who know how to draw, how to master this art, often ends up revising well, often ends up getting good results. So now what I'll be doing in this video, I'll be telling you by taking example how exactly you should prepare your notes for both PU2 and for your KCET 2025 examination, okay? So this is in general it can be seen by all the students, but yes, I'll be focusing on these two exams, okay? So now moving forward, I have also taken the organic chemistry book for reference. I'll be using this and telling you how you should be preparing notes, okay? Let's move forward here. Very, very important. Please do not miss this if you also struggle in making notes. So the first thing is why you should make notes, right? We can directly study from the book. What is the point of making notes here? So it is important because it helps to improve your retention. Now suppose you have make notes and you have this book for revision, okay? You have a one page where you have written all the things and you have one whole this book where you have to study. So definitely it is useful or it is helpful, it is easier to revise from your short notes or from your notes from which everything is written in short, okay? So that is, it helps you to improve retention. Next, boost your understanding. Definitely when you have understood something, when in book the language is very bookish, okay? So many extra things are read. We have learned this in the last year, as you have seen in the last segment. So something extra things are written apart from the direct concept, right? But in our short notes, what happens? We write exactly what is needed. So it helps us to boost our understanding about a particular concept. And very, very important reason why you should be making notes is quick revision, okay? During the time of exam, when you have 1 day, 2 day, 3 day left before the exam, you do not have time to go through the whole book. You just need to go through your short notes, through your notes, and complete the entire revision of the chapter, okay? So yes, that is there. So now next coming to, okay ma'am, we all make notes in our classes, in our tuitions, in our coachings, right? Or sometimes we even try to make our self notes, but we do, most of us, even I have done in my school times, later I understood, we all make one very big mistake, that is we rewrite the complete book in our own handwriting again, right? That is the mistake that all of us do, that is recreate the book in our own handwriting, okay? You just keep on writing whatever is there. Suppose maybe you might not have write some unnecessary things, but again, suppose the book chapter is 10 pages or 20 pages, you ended up in making it 18 or 17 pages. That makes no sense at all, okay? There's zero difference between the book and your notes, and that won't be helpful for you at all to revise during the exams, right? So that is what is why we say that note making is an art, and every student should know how to make notes, okay? How to make the correct and effective notes that can be used actually, okay? These 18-page notes which you make, hardly you will revise it at any time, right? Fine. So now we will see the 4 steps for the most perfect and concise notes. Perfect notes means it should be helpful for you during the exam. Concise means it should not be very long. It should be within 2 to 3 pages and your entire note should be done in that way, okay? So let's move forward with the first thing. The first thing that you should focus on is understand the chapter. See, there is no point of making notes without understanding the chapter, okay? So first thing, always the first step, suppose for example, you are going to make notes from the chapter haloalkanes and haloarenes, the first chapter in this part 2 of chemistry book. So please first read the chapter completely. In fact, if you are not able to read the chapter, first go through this. In the content page you can see, right, 6.1 is classification, 6.2 is nomenclature. So these basic idea of the chapter should be there. You should know what are the contents present in a particular chapter. Okay, now when you go to this particular chapter, you open it, okay, and start reading it. The first thing that you have to do is read the complete chapter, then only you should go for making notes. The first time when you are reading the chapter and you find that everything is important in this book, and you end up making the whole chapter again. So that is why first thing you should be knowing is you have to read the chapter and note down the key topics present in the chapter. So what are the key topics present in this particular first chapter? That is your classification, nomenclature, nature of CX bond, methods of preparation of haloalkanes, preparation of haloarenes, physical properties, chemical properties, and polyhalogen compounds. So now if you see that, just imagine if I see this chapter is having almost, I can say it is having 1, 2, 3, almost I can say 20 pages. Okay, almost 20 pages are there. But if you imagine, okay, this chapter has only 8 topics, I have to revise only 8 topics, right? So that makes a psychological difference. So always remember, first you should know what are the topics present in that particular chapter, and then you have to note down the key topics present in this particular chapter. So suppose you want to make haloalkanes and haloarenes notes, so at the end some corner, okay, just note down these topics that are present in this particular chapter. Fine. Next, coming to the second point, that is classification and learn. Okay, so always try to learn by making classification. Now suppose if I talk about this particular chapter, that is your, I'll take example, that is your haloalkanes. Okay, so I have 2 classification in this chapter. One is haloalkanes, another I have is haloarenes. Okay, so these are the 2 classifications present in this particular chapter. Next, in haloarenes, what all things I have? I can write, okay, I have their preparation, I have their chemical properties, and I have their physical properties. Okay, next, if you go to haloalkanes, what are there? Same methods of preparation, chemical properties, physical properties. And another classification is what? I have polyhalogen compounds. Right, under polyhalogen compounds I have different compounds you can mention, like for example DDT is there, freons are there, right? So these are what you should learn before making. When you just read the chapter once, you should have a classification, or you should have an idea of the chapter, what all things are present. Okay. So next, coming to the third rule, that is limiting the detail. We do not have to write the entire thing in the notebook. Okay, in the notebook what all things we are going to do, we want to write only the highlighted or the keywords. Okay, only the, whenever you are reading the chapter, okay, you can see some points are highlighted, and some of them are also important, but they are actually not highlighted. So when you read the chapter and you find that something is important, just highlight it. So when you make notes, you have to make sure that you are putting those highlighted topics only in your notes. Like for example, if I go through this particular chapter, I can find that some words like enantiomers is highlighted, achiral is written in bold, asymmetric carbon stereocenter is written in bold, racemization is written in bold. Okay, then I can see SN1 and SN2 mechanisms are written in bold. Then I have seen like these are the different reactions that are also written in bold, italics. Okay, in what is the reason why haloarenes do not undergo substitution reaction. So these are the things that is written in bold. Okay, so these are definitely the important topics, so you can highlight those things. So these important topics, these highlighted topics only you have to write in your notebook. Next, any example you have, okay, what all things you should include generally. Examples should be included. Examples like, for example, if I give you solutions chapter, if I consider ideal solution, non-ideal solution, okay, negative deviation, positive deviation, okay, then you have, for example, zeroth order reaction examples, first order reaction examples. Then if I go coming more next chapter, electrochemistry, electrolytic cell examples, galvanic cell examples, okay, then you have weak electrolyte examples, strong electrolyte examples. So all the examples should should always be written in your short notes. Next is your values. In physics, suppose you have epsilon value, okay, in chemistry you have R value, Avogadro numbers value, which are you tend to forget the values. Those values can also be included. Next, formulas are very important. I'll also be showing you how to write the formulas. So formulas, especially from physics and chemistry and maths, formula should be written and that should be in a box. Okay. Next, most repeated questions. So you are supposed to read the whole chapter. Okay, you don't have to write everything from this chapter in the notebook. You know, from this chapter the most important topic is what? SN1 reaction and SN2 reaction. Every year a question is asked from this, so make sure that you include that particular concept in the notebook. Okay. Next, for example, polyhalogen compounds are there. You know, most of the time questions are not asked from here. Freons questions are asked, DDT some questions are asked. So make sure that you include these two topics in your notebooks. So from where the questions have been asked, those things only should be written in the notes. Okay, fine. Next, finally, so we have already discussed 3 steps. Okay, but still now we have not entered the phase where we are going to actually make the notes. So I have just discussed what all things you should do or how to prepare yourself before making the notes. The step 1, you should be reading the chapter and have an understanding of the chapter and note down the key topics from the chapter. Second rule was what? Second rule was you have to do classification and learning. So when you read, you just have to imagine what all classifications I can do in this particular chapter. I'll give you another example. For example, I have solutions chapter. Then how I can classify them? One section of this chapter will be colligative properties. Another section will be your concentration terms, where we have discussed molarity, molality and all terms, right? Then colligative properties 4. Then we have another, I can just make a section like laws, where I am discussing Henry's law, Raoult's law and Dalton's law. Okay, then another section I can make definitions, another section I can make difference between. Okay, so these are the different classification which you can make in a particular chapter in your brain before making actually notes. And the third thing is you have to always highlight when you read the chapter all the important bold letters, words, italics, all the important definitions, examples, formulas, graph, any diagram, those things should be highlighted. Okay, now in the step 4 we are actually going to make the rules. Okay, we are actually going to make the notes. Now we are done with the rules. Now in these notes I have generally 3 types of notes. Okay, one is your table, one is your paragraph, another is your flow chart. I personally like table method and the flowchart method the best one. Okay, see, one type of method cannot be applied to all kinds of notes. You have to use different methods for different types of notes, which will be more suitable for which one. Okay, so I'll be giving you an example here. So now coming to the first method, for example, tables, I'll take the example of chemistry chapter. Okay, so where can I use the table method? So whenever you have any differentiate between, okay, or you want to write any functions. Okay, so let me give you an example in detail. Let me consider for example, solutions chapter, and I'll talk in terms of chemistry only. You can apply it to other subjects also. So let me take where I will use the solution, where I'll use the table method in solutions chapter. First thing, to remember or to make notes for ideal and non-ideal solution. Right, I can just make a table and write the difference, and I can prepare both of them. I'll write examples also. Everything will be covered there, right? Next, I can do for positive and negative deviation. Okay, next I can do for maximum and minimum boiling azeotope. Right, so this is how I have covered these topics in table. So if I want to make the notes from the solution chapter, this particular I won't follow paragraph. I'll write ideal solutions, complete information, non-ideal solution. No, I will make a comparative study, and so that I can remember it better. Next, suppose for example, if I go to the chapter electrochemistry. Okay, electrochemistry, I can study here. For example, the first thing I can make a table is what is electrolytic and electrochemical cell. Next, I can do between metallic electrode and electrolyte. this table I can, this factors affecting the conductance of metallic electrode, factors affecting the conductance of electrolyte. Next, what I can consider or I can think of is weak and strong electrolyte. Right? So these are the things which I will make table for this particular chapter. Next, if I come to kinetics chapter, see, I am giving more examples so that you can understand. For kinetics I can make a difference, for example, first law and zeroth law. Okay, so first law and zeroth law, I'll write the definition, then I'll write the formula for, then integrated rate law, then I can make for half-life method, units of K, right? So everything I can write and cover in this entire chapter. Another I can make is average and instantaneous rate. Right? Clear? What I will not be able to do, for example, if I want to study collision theory, the principles of collision theory or the postulates of collision theory in this particular chapter, that is not coming under table, that I have to follow paragraph method, right? So that is what you have to follow in table method. Now in organic chemistry, if I talk about any chapter where we can use table, I don't find. In organic chemistry generally we should follow flow chart method. Okay, so this is what you can see. So generally you can take a think of that physical chemistry can be mostly done with this type of tables. We can prepare most of the things with table. Organic chemistry, I remember one topic, that is biomolecules. Okay, so biomolecules, suppose I am studying disaccharides. Okay, so what I can do, first disaccharides, I'll write the name here. Okay, next will be your monomer units. Next I can write whether their connection, like which carbon to which carbon, then reducing or non-reducing. Okay, so I can make all the three, that is your disaccharide, that is your sucrose, maltose and galactose. You can make, sucrose, maltose and lactose. You can make a table and their diagrams as well. That is where we can do. Another in biomolecules chapter, you can divide between amylose and amylopectin, right? Then you have fibrous and globular protein, primary, secondary, tertiary proteins. Then you have another is alpha sheets and alpha helix and beta pleated sheets. Then you can do for polysaccharide also starch, glycogen, cellulose. What are their monomer units, where they are present in human body, animal body. So these all things you can make in a table and study. Okay, so that is the method that I would follow. Next, coming to method number 2, paragraph, and I think this is least followed method and is also least effective method. But if you also do this properly, if you are for some, like as I told you in collision theory, we do not have anything where we can make table or flow chart. So what we can do here is we can make a paragraph, but that should not be like you are writing the whole paragraph again from the book in the notebook. You have to follow certain rules here. So first thing is you should write down the keywords in bullet points. Okay, so paragraph should be not be in sentence, it should be in keywords, and that too only in bullet points. Next, you can use in this paragraph method, if any formulas are coming, you can put formulas in the box. If any examples are there, you have to mention, you can write down. If any reactions are there, that also can be considered. Now here I'll give an example. How will you make notes? For example, if I make notes for applications of Henry's law. See, I know I have studied, I remember chemistry, so I can take examples from here only, but you can use it for other subjects. So if this is my note for applications of Henry's law. So first point, I know it is used in cold drinks, or I can write soft drinks. Okay, so I will just mention like this, only soft drinks. If I know the concept, I don't have to explain anything here. I know that yes, under high pressure carbon dioxide is sealed, so to increase the solubility of carbon dioxide. That sentence I can frame in the exam, but the key word is here is what? Soft drink. Second, if I know, second thing is what? I'll put the second keyword as scuba divers. Okay, so here I know that scuba divers, I know the concept, right? When they go down, the pressure increases, so they find difficulty in breathing, so that is why they use helium in their oxygen cylinders. But here something which I cannot remember is the composition of oxygen tank. that I don't remember now also, I cannot answer that. How much helium was present, how much nitrogen was present, how much oxygen is present, that is something I will mention here because I don't remember that. Next, if you remember, and here something important that you should be putting is about the disease bends. Right? Though we know the concept, but bends we may forget while mentioning in the answer, or question can be asked about bends, so I will mention that. So when you are seeing the short notes, okay, suppose you see application of Henry's law, what you will be thinking, what images? Okay, scuba diving, bends is there for scuba diving, then I have beverages or cold soft drinks, and third is I know at high altitude. High altitude. I'll just write this much in my short notes for this particular thing. Okay, and in high altitude I know something about anoxia. So this also key term I will mention. Let me take you another example. Suppose a concept I am making notes for, lanthanide contraction. Lanthanide contraction. How will I make? The first thing I will write is definition. Okay. So I know I won't write the complete definition. What I will write? Steady decrease. Steady decrease. Decrease, how I will write? Like this in my short notes. I won't write the full word. Steady decrease along the period, or along the, yes, along the period. That's the definition. Rest thing I will frame in the exam. Second, I'll write cause. Cause is what? Poor shielding of 4F, or I won't write this much also in my short. If I am preparing short notes, I will just write down 4F, poor shield. See, notes is not for reading, you just should know to understand the concept. Third, what is there? Consequences. Okay, so consequences, here I know what are the points. First I know ZR and HF. I'll write like this. I know that they are having similar size because of lanthanide contraction. Then I'll write decrease in basicity. Next I'll write difficult to separate. So if any question is asked from lanthanide contraction, if definition is asked, I can write. If cause of definition is asked, a cause of lanthanide contraction, I can write. Consequences is asked, I can write. So everything, whatever is asked from this particular, this whole thing will take care of everything, right? So that is how you should make paragraph short notes. Okay, so mention as many less words as you can, as many symbols as you can, okay, and as many points. You should be always be in bullet points. Okay. Now moving to the third method, which is my favorite, and this is also one of my favorite. I prefer table method and this one. Okay, in table method I want to mention one more thing. I gave you, if you have seen, functions. Okay, so where can you use this? If I talk about, see, I am relating with these particular chapters so that you can exactly understand how to make notes from which chapter. So functions, if I give an example, biomolecules, what is that? Hormones. Okay, so now I'll show you in this chapter, if you see hormones, how it is given and how you have to study. So just a minute. Okay, where is that? Hormones, just a minute. Okay, so you can see hormones is this entire page and this entire page. That is what is given all about hormones. Now, are you going to revise this page when you are going to exam? No. What you will be doing? So, for example, I'll just take an example here. Hormones have several functions in the body. Okay, they help to maintain the balance of biological activities. Then comes the role of insulin. So, what I'll write? I'll just write down the hormone insulin. Okay, then what is its formula? It's a function. Then I have seen that there is something called as glucagon. Then I will write, so table, here name of the hormone, right, and here it is functions. Okay, so this is what I can, how I will make the notes of this particular paragraph, this big paragraph and this big paragraph and this one. Okay, so that is one example of your table method. Next, I was discussing about flow chart. So in context of chemistry, I can tell flow chart can be widely used in your organic chemistry. Okay, or if you want to learn some characteristics or principles, for example, I'll tell, suppose a question is asked, write the characteristics of equilibrium constant. Okay, it is a PU1 question. Write the features of or write the characteristics of equilibrium constant. So what are the features that we have there? Next, graphs or diagrams. Okay, so if any graphs or diagrams are there, for example, as I told you in biology you have so many diagrams, right? So you can prepare them in the form of flowchart. Okay, now coming to, for example, as I told you, I'll giving you examples. So let us do one small short note for organic chemistry. Okay, I'm selecting the chapter aldehydes, ketones and carboxylic acid, and ma'am, we are not able to remember the reactions of aldehydes, ketones and carboxylic acid. So let me give you a hint here how to prepare. So my topic is MOP. I won't write preparation. MOP aldehydes. Okay, that is preparation of aldehydes. So I can see in the book that there is 1, 2, 3 and I have only 3 methods, that is from acyl chlorides, from nitriles and esters and from hydrocarbons. So I want to prepare aldehydes, so I will keep aldehydes in the middle. Okay, then I know the first one is given from acyl chloride, so I will write from acyl chloride. What is the structure of acyl chloride? Like this. Okay, so here I will write acyl chlorides. Okay, next what is there? If you use H2 and palladium, barium, so I will write like this: H2, palladium, barium sulfate. And since it is a name reaction, I will also write the name of this reaction, that is Rosenmond reaction. That is the first thing over. Now you can see the entire thing can be just written in this diagram. Next coming to from nitriles and esters. So I have nitriles, so I will just make nitriles here. Okay, and in nitriles what is there? You can see if you use SnCl2 and HCl. SnCl2 in presence of HCl. And what is this? This is my Stephan reduction. Okay, next is from esters. Okay, there is one more thing, you can also use dibyl H. So I will put like this one more arrow and I'll write dibyl H. Okay, next was from esters. From esters also I'll put one dibyl H. Okay, next I have from hydrocarbons. Under hydrocarbons I have by oxidation of methyl benzene using chromic oxide, side chain chlorination and Gattermann-Koch. So under hydrocarbons I have again 3 methods. Okay, so I will write like this. First hydrocarbon is there, right? So all are generally your benzene method. So if I just draw one toluene, or I can say one benzene, okay, and that is your toluene, and the first one what I am using here, CrO2 Cl2 in presence of CS2. Okay, and this is my Itard reaction. That's all. Next again one is here from this one. What is the reagent used? CrO3 with acetic anhydride. Okay, so here this is the second one. Next you have side chain chlorination. I can do like this, that is Cl2 with presence of H nu. Okay, and then water. Okay, next I have from Gattermann-Koch reaction, so that is from benzene. So I'll just put benzene, CO and HCl. Okay, and your anhydrous AlCl3, and this is your Gattermann reaction. Right, so I will be preparing this type of note for all the reactions, that is preparation of aldehydes. So now tell me, when you revise, how easy it will become to revise these all reactions. Clear? So that is our organic chemistry. Please go for flowcharts. Okay, next moving forward to the rule understanding, or rule number 4, that is, this is not method 4, sorry, this is rule number 4, that is update your notes. How will you update? Now suppose, for example, I'll tell here one example. Suppose you have written that with n presence of anhydrous AlCl3 this reaction will happen. Okay, now suppose in some question you felt that what is the reagent used in the preparation or in the Gattermann-Koch reaction, and the option, there was no anhydrous AlCl3 and the option given was CuCl. Okay, so that means this question or this reaction can also takes place in presence of copper chloride. It was given in the book as well, but you have missed it. So what you will do, in this you will add okay, in another color, which shows that you have did that question wrong, or CUCL, like that you have to mention. So whatever things that you get wrong while solving different question papers, okay, so that all things should be updated, your notes should be updated immediately. Now I'll be telling you certain things that you should be following here, okay. So now see, okay, so we have generally two types of notes. One is long notes, one is short notes. Long notes is something that we prepare in our class and coaching. Short notes are something which should be prepared from these notes. From the long notes you should prepare short notes, okay. So now let us see what are the things that you should be doing in your long notes. One very important thing that you should follow is, whichever register you are taking to your class, to your tuitions, to your coaching classes, on the first page of it, please write down your aim. Suppose you are going for KCET coaching classes, or you have taken a book to make notes for KCET, make sure that what rank you want, what marks you want, how much percentage you want should be written on the first page. It is a very, very important thing which will motivate you to work consistently for your exams, okay. Next is keep simple. Do not waste your time by using so many color pens, so many underlining is not required. It should be very simple and to the point. My recommendation will be, you can use one black pen, one blue pen, one red pen and one highlighter, okay. 4 things are enough: black, blue, red and one highlighter, okay. Next should be use short forms, as I showed you, right? Decrease, increase, okay, then because, maximum, any words are there, just use the short forms. For example, you can write maximum as MAX, okay. You can write because as like, because this is your notes, right? You should only be able to understand your notes, not everyone, okay, like that you should be writing. Next, mark the important questions or concepts. Now suppose while teaching haloalkanes or haloarenes, because this is your class notes, right? So while teaching haloalkanes and haloarenes, your teacher told that SN1 and SN2 questions will be definitely asked. They are very, very important. So put a tick mark or put some level that these are very important, can be asked in the exam. So just put a circle and just write like that is important. Something, any symbol you can do which matches your which you wish. Next, put formulas in the box. Suppose you are making electrochemistry chapter, so many formulas are there, right? All the formulas that you have written in that particular chapter should be in the box. If you haven't, today when you go, just check your notes and put all the formulas in one box, okay. Next, leave page after every chapter. This is very, very important. This is what I learned from my chemistry teacher when I was in school. Every time he used to finish a chapter, he used to tell us to leave 3 pages, okay. We used to have a register and 3 pages we used to leave. In that, what he used to, once all the things are done, then he used to give us to solve sample papers and all questions and all. Any question which we feel is difficult, or we haven't done it, or something that we haven't revised, or something which is not very direct or very easy question, we used to put down those questions, those reactions, those formulas in those 2 to 3 pages, okay. So leave at least 1 to 2 pages after every chapter, so that any new thing you find about it, you can add on that, okay. Next is, underline the important points in your class when you are making the notes. Any definitions are there, okay. So just keep underlining those things. I'll tell you, this is very, very important. These underlined things should be there in your short notes only, okay. So moving forward here, so now you can see one example. Okay, now you can see, suppose this is a short note from electrochemistry chapter. You can see all the formulas are put in the box, okay. All the formulas have been put in the box. That is what you have to do in your long notes as well. Now coming to something, the short notes, okay. So what you have to do in the short notes, in your long notes I told you to highlight some important points, right? So those highlighted points should only be there in your short notes. You don't have to write entire thing in your short notes. Only important things which you have underlined, which you are difficult concepts, should be written. Next, split page method. I'll tell you what is this, okay. Flowcharts and mind maps. In your short notes you can include even flowcharts, mind maps, diagrams, visual things you can include. Now what is this split page method? This is something which I follow every time. Whenever you do, okay, try to split your page into different sections. Like for example, electrochemistry. Okay, what are the topics under that? I know electrochemical cell, in which we have Nernst equation, everything. Electrolysis, where we have Faraday's law and everything. Conductance is another part. 3 parts of this chapter. Next, in electrochemical cell, what all things I have to remember? See, I have written in galvanic cell, what is oxidation happens in this one, reduction happens in this one. Then what are the points you should be remaining, which direction current will flow, which direction electron will flow. Then what is the function of salt bridge. Okay, then what are the properties of inert electrolyte, what is the properties of like non electrolyte. So everything is written just in highlights. Next, you can see electrode potential. Next topic, what is the definition? Okay, what is standard electrode potential, what is oxidation potential, reduction potential, types of electrode potential. Okay, these type of notes you should be preparing. See, I can use little more color is used here, but that is not at all required. You can prepare even in 4 colors, that is fine. Okay, so this is little bit, I can say this will take more time. This you should be doing when you have enough time, but with just 3 months left for your exam, this is not advisable. Notes should be like this, the color used should be reduced. Okay, so yes students, that's all in this particular session, and I hope that this video was helpful for you to understand how to make notes and you work on it. Do not make essays, do not create another book. Please always keep in mind what is the purpose of making the notes. It is for quick revision, and I can tell you the entire chemistry, okay, you can make even in 1 page. That is possible. I have done it during my college time, during my school time. So yes, that is definitely possible, but for now, because you are in the, if you are in this starting of this journey, my recommendation is 1 A4 sheet paper, one side of 1 A4 sheet per chapter. If you have that limitation, okay, I have to put everything in this one particular page, then you won't use extra words. You will try to minimize as much as possible. Okay, so make sure that one side of the A4 page is required for one particular chapter. You have to put everything in that concept in that one page. Okay, so try this. This is a challenge given to you. So try to make the short notes for the chapter I can say chemical kinetics within 1 page. Okay, so those students who have made it, please put down in the comment section, and those who have accepted this challenge, please put it in the comment section and try whether you're able to do it or not. Okay, that's all, and please subscribe the channel and see you soon in the next episode.